So I'm wondering if we're going to see that option come through this time around. You mentioned it, FPX, they chose to be on the blue side. As we round out this first rotation of bans, it's going to be Varus, Nefiri on one side. TES are going to get rid of the Nico and the Yone.
Okay, right. So what else are we going to be looking forward to? Maybe they get rid of a Gnar or a Jace. Rumble falling all the way through. You're very happy about where he's going to be. There's no Yorick anymore. You also have the Ornn and the Scion gone. So I'm expecting for Sheer to kind of snap this up. And then kind of pairing this in terms of junglers, we're kind of out of a lot of the AD junglers. So we're going to be seeing a lot more of those tanks. Skarner, Wukong in particular start to gain value, especially.
Yeah. I think all are a good shout. We'll see. It's been a lot of mid-priority so far, I think, on the earlier picks here. But FPX, they do have an opportunity. Could just grab something like the Skarner for them early on. Or maybe if they want to grab Jace right away, since that one is still up and available. And there's no Scion to respond. Oh, Gwen.
Wow.
Okay.
I mean, you say duh, but like there's still a lot of top lane ADs that I think Renekton, like I'm thinking immediately of Renekton, but you could play the Jace into this. Would mean that we're going to need to see Shadow potentially put a lot more resources into going towards Sheer. So, Top Esports, what is their options? I know we've been seeing a large focus on AD carries here, especially in the back end of drafts. But MF would be a massive steal away from Awesome.
Yeah, right. Again, he's played it more than anyone else. Going into today, he played it 17 times in Split 2, which is like, I think the second most is a much smaller number. Is what I'll say. But the bigger pickup there, I think, is that Creme is actually going to be locking in the Azir.
Okay. So, already setting up for some long-range combos. Into the Gwen already is a little question mark because the Hollowed Mist allows her to basically avoid all that damage. I think that Leona starts to gain a little bit more value as I think that Top Esports are looking to try to get things like an Alistar to set up for their champions. I think that Top Esports do need a ton to be able to actually get stuff done, and they need a lot of frontline here in particular.
Yeah, very true. And it's going to be the instant Tristana that Care teases with the Echo Hover, and it is too late for me to remember that hovers are fake. So, I mean, Tristana, there is that flex angle, but very likely going to go into Awesome's pocket there in the bottom lane. Does give you some of that raw carry potential later on in the game. Kind of match the scaling Azir have.
All right, so see what the last pick here for Top Esports is. I like this Poppy. Does have that flex into 3 lanes. We haven't actually seen 369 play this champion in top side this year so far, but you always have that potential. Into Gwen feels a little less likely. But if it is in the jungle, I think it allows for Kanavi to be really, really potent and allow for him to be a bit more snappy with some of his engages. So back into this draft, I think a big focus is going to be on those supports.
Yeah, I mean, for now, it is Jason Senna out of the picture. But yeah, with going into this game 3, a lot of supports are already out of the picture. Maybe want to pinch that pool just a little bit more. Again, Alistar, Leona, both notably untouched so far this series, up and available as Top Esports. Going to continue the AoD carry focus there and take out the Kai'Sa.
I want to make sure that Awesome is really uncomfortable. I mean, Kai'Sa, Kalista are already gone. MF taken away. Corki's gone as well.
True.
I think if you're FPX, maybe you're looking at a Jhin game here. You already have a reliable marksman in terms of DPS coming in for the Tristana. You want to have someone that's going to be able to match the Misfortune early. If not, maybe we're dipping into Ashe Braum, which I think is actually not all that bad, into what Top Esports are showing.
Yeah, honestly, I respect the Cannon Hover. 369 almost certainly plays it. It's a really bad matchup for the Gwen. So instead, it's going to go for the Gragas.
Wow.
Be able to break up team fights with that exploding cast. You don't seem you seem unamused. You seem unimpressed. You not like it?
I just don't know. Like, it's good into some of, like, if this is going to be end up a Jhin, then sure, like, you get a little bit more value in some of the immobile members there. But aside from the laning phase for 369, I feel that the worst case scenario here that ends up happening is MF goes to throw an ultimate, and then 369 throws in a cask, and we're all a little sad here. I feel like from the side of Top Esports, it's another draft where they're having a lot of priority in a lot of these lanes. Misfortune, the Azir, even the Gragas should be able to poke out the Gwen early on, but I feel like this is a draft that even with this Alistar coming in, I have a lot of problems with this. FPX, they have the range. I think that this Sejuani is going to have a lot of value in this game, as there's not too many champions that are going to be able to tank up an ultimate and then also live. Tristana on 3 items, Jhin on 3 items is going to be very difficult to deal with. So Top Esports need to win the early game, and they don't have they have priority, but that means that Kanavi's going to have to get a lot of work done here.
And I mean, historically, so far this split, that has been the name of the game for Top Esports. But in a draft like this, you know, you're kind of turning up the fire a little bit. You're turning on a very big digital clock, saying like, all right, boys, this is how much time we have. No pressure. Don't worry about it.
All right, well, let's see it. I want to see if FPX can play this. I mean, you have the Tristana versus the Azir. I think you're kind of happy about where you are on that side of the matchup. I think that maybe your top side is a little weak, but in terms of engage, there's not all that much coming in from the side of FPX. They're really trying to play the range game very, very well, and that means that Shadow needs to be a little more cautious, which just hasn't been his kind of player archetype that we've seen so far in Split 2 and throughout 2025.
Yeah, I mean, again, a lot of the success there for FPX, specifically with Shadows, him being able to be aggressive, him being able to make the game more volatile, and especially that has led to a lot of the tank play we're used to seeing from Sheer in the top lane. But now, the player who we wanted to see step up against a legend like 369, he's playing the Gwen, has that opportunity to carry, has that opportunity to be a menace in the side lane. So now, he has a chance to go big.
Okay. Well, let's see it. It's game number 3. We're match point here in the series. Top Esports with a pretty dominant draft, but FPX can strike back. Okay. The crowd mic was on this time. I feel like last game we were complaining that they were, you know, a lot of the fans weren't there. Maybe they also gave up on that draft in game number 2, just like FPX. And so they were like, okay, we'll be here for game 3.
I think we found the answer. I think that was why. I was going to blame audio issues, but I like your story a lot better. You believe in League of Legends fans more than I do.
Hey, man. League of Legends fans, they gotta do some heavy lifting, bro. We're maligned a lot of the time, and you know we've got to get something. Someone's got to be our biggest cheerleader, dude. Because
so true, yeah.
Everybody wants to hate. It's cool to hate on League of Legends. It's not cool. It's anti-hip to try to talk good about League. So I'm glad the fans are at least showing up.
Yeah, fair. I mean, it's really nice to see overall. I love watching Eastern fans, whether it's LPL or LCK, because in general, even if it's in other esports, like they have great fan chants, they go hard with the signage, the cosplay, like fandom is a really cool thing there. And then I look at fandom in North America, and I want to die.
Well, you know, the fandom in North America, they don't even get to watch their games half the time, because usually they're in the closet for LTA.
Yes,
all right,
thank you for referencing the closet.
Coming back to this game, though, it is going to be, right now, Shadow on this red side. He's starting to make an invade, and already we're seeing FPX with a bit of some vertical jungling here. He's on the bottom side of his map. Kanavi actually, okay, so this is some tech that we saw from him last week. I'll hold that as bottom lane starting to fight.
Yeah, 4 shots going to come through, but Awesome has to reload, loses a lot of HP. JackeyLove and Chris getting the better of that.
Look at Kanavi right now. He talked about this the other week where he was like, I saw some other junglers like Canyon flashing over the wall, and I wanted to just try it. I thought maybe this is something that they could do. They're going to Hex Flash in.
That's crazy. Oh, wow. But Kanavi, he's here to save the day. Sheer has flashes. Jungler is nearby, so this isn't quite set in stone. Now Shadow's going to come through here. Kanavi's going to try and walk away with the steadfast presence, but that means Shadow can go in to his heart's content, so 369 will have to flash.
That's a big win, though, for FPX. Shadow gets to be there. They get to stop this. The only person that is actually ahead because of this play right now is Kanavi, as he got his red buff and he stole 2 of the camps of Shadow. Shadow is going to try and take away his Raptors. But, I mean, 369 kind of loses his flash. That's a big win here for FPX, in my opinion, in this early game.
Yeah, really nice opener to go through, and Shadow able to, right? Yeah, he's going to be able to mitigate some of what Kanavi is going to be able to take away. So I think fair to
What
say
is Crisp
FPX
doing?
come out positive, but Crisp, he's level 3 on Alistar. He has all his buttons. So he's going to try and get a little bit of pressure. Oh, Flash is going to come through. Care, he is stuck. Even with the Flash.
Oh my god!
The Azir is going to come through. Creme is going to secure first blood.
But look at how much was invested for this play. Like, I mean, Care's going to be able to TP back. It sucks for now. It is a kill going over to the Azir. It's not what we wanted to see, but he has a cull in this matchup. I mean, you now have no flash on Creme, no flash on 369 or on Crisp. We'll have to see if this ends up being an early game that, you know, top esports are going to be very, very excited about. But what the hell is going on here? We're already in a lot of early action here.
They heard you. They knew how important an early lead was, how important the volatility was going to be. So they said, all right, Dimitri, we hear you. We're going to start fighting ASAP Rocky as much as possible. And they've managed to make that one work. It didn't work topside, but now Creme on this Azir has a kill. Should assist in gaining some of that priority that's kind of hard into the Tristana. Maybe TES can turn it into something.
I'd be very worried if they're for some reason listening to the LPL English broadcast. I would be putting into question more and more that coaching staff of the split. But
what do you mean?
maybe
you're just the GOAT, man. I don't know.
Who knows? Who knows? But FPX going to be pretty innovative here by using that Arctic Assault from the Sejuani. They're actually not going to be able to see from the side of top esports that Sejuani is in the Dragon Pit. Oh my god! We're pulling up lower thirds of champion rates. We're doing this all for playoffs? All right, let's go LPL broadcast. We're doing well here. Ignore Care being 0-2 on the Tristana. This split happens.
Not important.
But early Dragon already going over to FunPlus Phoenix. It's kind of what we wanted to see from them.
Yeah, and it's really good, too, for a comp where you're going to be pretty happy with your chances later on into the game. So even just getting this first Dragon and then ignoring the next couple of ones is fine. And wow, Kanavi forces Care to use the Buster Shot. I think that's something that TES can take advantage of in these couple of minutes. Remember, Care, no flash, now no Buster Shot. So if Kanavi was so inclined, he could return and try and take Care out.
Still pretty dangerous. Probably going to be waiting for his flash timer, which is going to be coming up in a few moments anyway. So for right now, I mean, FPX are happy with where the game state is. Remember, it is all about getting those call stacks done for Care. Same thing here for JackeyLove, who should be pretty safe by himself, especially versus a Jhin and a Rel. I want to see if Crisp and how active he is going to be, because we put a lot of emphasis on the supports, and I think while we have seen Jwei in particular have a lot of impact in some of our games here, Crisp, I think, is still trying to find his footing here and be that legendary support that he is supposed to be, especially with the name that he's made for himself in prior years.
Yeah, and right now, we have a bit of a skirmish potentially going through here. Shadow's just here to alleviate pressure. I don't think an actual fight is going to come down, but you said you wanted Crisp to find his footing. He is finding these angles to try and impact the mid lane. And trying to get Creme ahead, I think, is going to be pretty important here. So we'll see if Crisp is able to find more of these roam timers, especially as the lane swaps come through going into that Grubs in 1 minute's time.
You're a mid laner, man. You should know all about this. You're like, oh, my support's mid? Nice, I get free priority. Isn't this role great? I get babysat for the whole game, and then, you know, I get to just kind of sit there and win the game from range, especially as an Azir. So making sure that this mage gets his 2 items when he gets that Nashor's Tooth, and then either Leandri's. Maybe we see something a little bit different with the itemization changes for mages this patch. But that's going to be really important for top esports, just making sure that Creme gets his items.
Yeah, and I mean, you can already see it. He's getting there. He has the recurve bow, a blasting wand, even the amp tome. So that's going to be a Nashor's Tooth pretty soon. He's probably going to forego the boots just to get that item as quickly as possible. And much like we wanted to see from FPX in that last game, top esports, once that critical first item comes through, they want to see some action. And Crisp, going to get some action started here on the top side. I don't think much else is going to come from this. We're just trading some auto attacks. However, Kanavi is here. Ward is going to spot him out.
Kanavi has level 6, and right now what I'm looking at is that Shadow made a visit into mid lane. That's a pretty big wave that they're shoving.
Bomba.
369 getting some good poke down onto Sheer, but it is all about playing for these Grubs right now. I feel like this is a good spot for FPX as long as they don't lose too much HP in the next upcoming moments.
Especially in the side lane too, because 369 can join at any time. Sheer is not able to cancel that teleport. Gwen has no hard CC in the kit, so Top Esports going to go ahead and start up the Grubs. Guaranteed to get one. I think they want to go in. Glacial Prison comes out. Crisp is getting really low. He flashes into die, and Kanavi gets two with the Keeper's Verdict. So FunPlus Phoenix, they need to get the hell out of dodge, as they're going to be able to walk away. Grubs reset, but the poke is still really good here.
You're happy about this.
Are back here, but it's not over. Bullet time. Shuffle is coming through, and that fourth shot from the Jin isn't quite enough. This is the longest fight I think I've seen, but now TES, they're going to have to flash out of here, and they're going to walk away with one grub, one kill.
Okay, 369 is going to teleport to our top side. It's going to not be the completion of Grubs. If FPX were able to kind of stall out and let Top Esports continue fighting over this objective, I feel like they could have continued to go for that. I like this coming out from Care, though. Still has the Buster shot, so he can stop Chris from engaging upon him. And he has his flash if he really needs it, so he's just going to get shoved out of this mid-wave. And that's a very close fight for Top Esports to take there.
Yeah, but at the end of it, even though they were forced away, you can see Kanavi, he's back on that Grubs, use that jungle privilege to heal up. And now he's going to be able to secure all three of them. So it's 2 games in a row now. Top Esports having all 3 Grubs at their disposal. Not really any dedicated split pushes on their team, so there's no Yorick. There's nothing like that, so they're not going to be able to get that much value out of it. But when they overload, try and force that first brick, it will be impactful.
I think it's really good for, you know, obviously taking it away from FPX when you have a Gwen and a Tristana. Very, very nice. Azir in a side lane is going to be particularly potent. So we'll see what Creme and the rest of Top Esports are actually able to do with these Grubs. Obviously, Grubs being a win more objective, anytime you're allowed to hit turrets is usually a moment where you're doing okay for yourself.
Yeah.
And that was a very close fight, all things considered. I think that there's still a lot for FPX to be able to play for. The item spikes are going to be coming in a little bit sooner, especially, but I feel like they're going to be on kind of different wavelengths here. Because Shadow's going for the scaling item with the Heartsteel. Awesome going for this Youmuu's Ghostblade Rush that we've been seeing across the leagues, especially in LCK and here in the LPL. But you know, once they hit 2 and 3 items for FPX, that's kind of where it gets very scary for a lot of their carries. So, for Top Esports,
oh, Observer
that
bug,
looked weird.
Or I don't really know what happened, but at the end of it, Creme ults and dashes away. Kanavi in a little bit of trouble as well, but otherwise, I think that pressure should give FPX a pretty easy time to start walking towards that Drake pit. But JackeyLove and Crisp, they do have Papaya.
Oh, Sheer is now fighting 369 on the opposite side. Awesome is nowhere near this objective. They needed to be able to link up and very cleanly get next to each other. Maybe they just trade this for a kill.
Oh, the turn. Oh, and it is the flash from Sheer, who's going to snip 369, but we got more fighting going on here. The headbutt somehow misses Shadow. I really want to see that one in the replay. So, otherwise, everyone's going to walk away. FPX not worse for wear. Sheer is very happy to pick up that kill on the Gwen.
You get that kill onto Gwen, you're happy about the state of the game. It also stops the Dragon here coming in from Top Esports. So someone needs to be able to match Sheer now. Who's going to be able to walk up? By the time they get over here, you see the pings coming out. FunPlus Phoenix, they want this Dragon. They want to get to soul stacking. Now, what Dragon are they going to have access to? Because it's already the Hextech, it's already the Ocean Drake. We get to see this engage coming in. He barely gets spotted there. I mean, 369, this is the problem with this matchup. After you get out of the laning phase, once Gwen gets her items, it becomes much more difficult for you to be able to find anything. And I mean, this is a pretty big investment, I think, all things considered, coming out from FPX. Awesome tries to play up on the mid-wave and nearly goes down for it.
Yeah, bullet time from JackeyLove. Going to do a lot of work here. But at the end of it, FPX going to walk away with that Dragon. It's going to be their second one of the game. And with Jwei here in the mid lane, Awesome feels comfortable enough to go ahead and get some farm. But on the other side of the map, you mentioned it, Creme being potent in that side lane is making use of that Grubs to just collect many, many turret plates. He already has Nashor's Tooth, so any gold you can get him is just going to make him that much stronger.
I just love this, and maybe JackeyLove's just dead. Yep, all right, cool.
I mean, I don't even know why we cleansed that one.
Yeah, like, you know that you cleanse, and then you're just going to have to deal with the Jin ult. But look at how Top Esports prioritize... That's not Jwei's fault. That's Hex Flash. Anyway, I'm going to finish my point here.
Yeah, just
look at how top esports are shadowing Creme. They have Crisp and Kanavi sitting in topside jungle of FPX. They're letting Creme get 2 plates for himself with that. So this Azir is going to get further and further ahead of their opponent. And we can kind of come back to Jwei there. That's just where you are using Hex Flash, and your flash comes up in the middle of it. Okay. All right. Never mind. That might just be a gap. That might just be a Jwei gap. I'm sorry, brother.
You know what? He decided he wanted Hex Flash. That's just what I'm going to tell myself.
Hex Flash is more broken.
Yes, exactly. You get it. So that's all well and good. Jwei has access to that disgustingly powerful, unmatchable summoner spell in the Hex Flash. And we're just going to kind of go back to the neutral. Next thing coming up right now is going to be the Rift Herald in about 50 seconds time. FPX, remember, halfway to a Dragon Soul. So that next Drake on the horizon, Chemtech, something that they're also going to be setting their sights towards.
FPX do need to make a decision here. You know, there is that Herald spawning in 30 seconds, and right now it seems like they're putting a lot of their eggs into making sure that Sheer gets ahead. So FPX, and what I want to see from kind of the mid and bottom lane duo, is them jockeying for position around this objective.
Glacial Prison. 369 is going to go down. He tries to save himself with the exploding cask, but really, no dice.
This should just be a full turret coming in from Sheer. I mean, he'll have another mini wave to play for. It's 25 seconds before 369 will be back up. Creme's going to get himself a full turret, which is not bad. He's going to get closer to having level 11 as well from this Azir. So FPX, or for the side of top esports, playing for this Herald is very important for them, especially the fact that they'll be up in ultimates.
Yeah, very true. Seen a teleport as well from Creme. But going back to base. Oh, he wants a little bit more. He's feeling himself. He's going to shuffle Sheer in with that Emperor's Divide, but now Sheer, he's too low health.
He's just teleport out,
play his life. I think he's just going to die to the auto attack, so I think the play was to run away, but good recognition there from Creme. That's another big advantage for TES.
So he'll get a kill there, and he'll get the turret. I was going to say I don't know if that's necessarily worth it, but if your goal right now is make sure that Azir gets gold, make sure that he gets the second item accelerated versus his opponent, he's already up 1,000 gold on this Tristana. Giving up a Herald versus a team that really hasn't been able to kind of really develop the map in a meaningful way, this is pretty smart coming in from top esports. Creme is going to be really far ahead now.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as he backs, you got to imagine that's a full item completion coming through here. So this Azir is massively accelerated right now. We needed those early game advantages to come through to test this game against FPX's draft. So the fact that Creme has been able to do this and TES has been able to set him up for success is a really big deal. You got to imagine he's going to be very formidable in that next dragon fight. Is that Rylai's?
I don't know why we're doing Rylai's this game. I got to be honest. I mean, Leandri's, I get it, right? Like, there's not too much value. There's not too many HP stackers except for, you know, jungle support, but that's pretty natural. I think maybe the slow being more useful, especially for stopping something like, you know, if you're in the middle of an ultimate from the bullet time, the slow is going to be pretty nice. I could see it. I don't think I'm a huge fan of it, especially for the lack of AP that the Azir will have, but he's so far ahead, I feel like you're allowed to have luxury items at this point. I feel like you have enough kind of house money to play with now. So Dragon is here. It's going to be a press here of the bottom lane wave. Top esports know that this Azir is very far ahead and very strong, so pulling him near and anywhere close to these fights is exactly the kind of way that they want to be able to play out this game.
Right now, 23 seconds till the Drake. FPX have a bit of a setup here, but they have to go back and play on this mid wave. You can see Care, he is not nearby, so a lot of the DPS isn't around right now, even though we're poking things out. We're throwing spells back at each other, but we're really stalling for this Tristana to be able to get this wave in, and it forced that immediate response from top.
All right. Herald's going to spawn. They're going to try to use this to just grab the turret, but you're already seeing they have such a disgusting wave advantage right now. JackeyLove and the rest, we're seeing it top esports. This dragon is gone. Shadow, unless you make a masterful steal, you still have this Azir, you have this Poppy and Alistar. You're never getting into range.
Yeah, teleport's going to come through. I think we have a fight on our hands. Keeper's verdict is going to knock away one. It means Jwei is in trouble. They're going to have to open up the curtains.
Wow.
Jwei turns it around at the cost of his life, and it's looking like FPX don't really have an answer. They're fighting on two fronts, and neither front is winning for them. They are running tail between their legs as Top Esports find yet another advantage.
What an incredibly sloppy fight, though, from FPX. As Top Esports are like, thank you for the free dragon. We'll get another kill for ourselves. The best you can kind of hope for if you are FunPlus is like, we got Creme's flash. All right, sure. That's fine. Maybe we can make a play, but you're still waiting on your item spikes. Care is pretty far behind, and even though he does a fair amount of damage, Creme just has too much HP from the Rylai's right here. Again, the reason why I wanted to highlight Jwei in general is this guy just gets so much dirty work done for the team. Like he is going down either way. But the flash engage to be able to stop the misfortune ult, it's cool. I just don't know how useful it is. Who else is actually getting hit by this bullet time right now? It looks nice, and you know, maybe if they were able to get this engage onto Creme, I mean, it's mostly just a stopgap measure.
Right. It feels like a snap decision you make in that moment because, like, all right, guys, if we're fighting, like, I'm going to try and make something happen. But unfortunately, you called it. Really sloppy fight from FPX. Fighting on two fronts, not fighting either of them really well, and lose a lot of resources as a result here. The Drake stacking has been halted. They lost more space on the map. And it feels like Top Esports are continuing to snowball here.
What else can Top Esports get in this situation? Otacon is up, and they have an Azir with teleport. So a single pick onto one side of the map makes it very easy for TES to make their way on up and start this objective. I love how aggressive Creme is playing, by the way. He literally just moves on forward, shuffles towards Care. Care just jumps back. He doesn't know where the rest of his team is. So very dangerous stuff here. We're seeing that FPX are putting pressure and putting bodies in the zone. But Top Esports, they could just muscle their way on through this top side and put a lot of pressure onto this objective.
Yeah, speaking of muscle, Creme is also muscling Care on that bottom side. Kanavi not able to steal. He's going to get hit with the Deadly Flourish. Also the Permafrost. They're going to go with the ult. Bullet time's going to come through. Big knock-up from Chris. JackeyLove almost gets the full channel. Shadows going down. JackeyLove has to flash. Sheer is in the middle of so many, but FPX finally get a kill. That's right, Creme is here. The Emperor has returned, and no amount of curtain calls are going to be able to turn it around. Even though Care is able to secure the double kill, it's still big for TES.
They're going to take another turret here. Creme gets right into this fight, and it is so difficult now. Look at all of the carries of TES. In one way or another, they have ways of stopping you from finding kills. It's the Seeker's Arm Guard. It's all this HP that Creme has. It's the Bloodthirster and the Seraphs for 369 and JackeyLove. It is so tough, especially, again, Care without any of his real items here does no meaningful damage. And you see how long it takes for FPX to find this pick onto Kanavi? It delays, and it is such a massive stall. This bullet time just splits the fight perfectly.
Yeah, also the triple knockup from Chris to really keep this fight extended was really nice too. And once again, FPX really splitting their time, splitting their focus in these fights, and it really just hasn't been working for them. Big deal for Care. Be able to get that kill, double kill, excuse me. At least it will allow him to reach those breakpoints a little faster. You got to imagine that IE is on the horizon.
Yeah, but he's 22 minutes, and does he finish IE here? Maybe. He's still like he's still missing like 600 gold for the combined cost. So even if he does that, he still has to buy an LDR afterwards, right? To be able to actually deal damage. Shadow's just dead.
Yeah, I mean he's stalling. Respect. I mean Jwei. Brother, I don't know if this is the angle, but then again, the marksmen are here. Kanavi gets the double knockback, and it's going to force Care to flash, but he can't flash far enough from the bullet time. It's a double for JackeyLove. Kanavi goes low to the curtain call, but he is not out. Sheer is the only one left, but he is forced to flee.
Maybe actually with Sheer delaying this, maybe that stops him from taking the Otacon. Kanavi has a lot of HP that he's regenning through, though. It's going to be the Otacon started here. No Magnet Storm, only the needle work coming in from Sheer to be able to make a turn. That's just going to be the Thornbound Otacon. It's going to be a lot of gold, experience, and adaptive force now being claimed by Top Esports.
Yeah, just another big objective win here for TES. as FunPlus Phoenix, despite their best efforts, falling further and further behind this game. Even now, after losing that space and that objective fight the way they did, they're only just now scrambling to try and get towards that dragon. This is their dragon soul point if they're able to secure it, but really they're just not in a great position to be able to do so.
What happened to the FBI? Oh my! Oh, Care!
My!
You just walked up, took 3 autos, and you're half HP. He got his Infinity Edge before that last fight, and it still felt like he does no damage. We'll see if FPX can claim this bounty. It is 600 gold for them.
Oh, wow, Creme, a little slide and glide, but it's going to be dodged out. He's going to go for the flash. It's 4 people, though. Surely he's not long for this world. And Sheer getting the shutdown, I think, is really nice, too, on this Gwen. Dragon trade on the other end. It's only the second Drake. And
yeah.
Not a big loss there, and they're able to get Creme off the map.
You know, yes, I will, also say that having tenacity as well as shield power increase is not incredibly bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow, yeah, we're fighting this
Jwei's
one. Keeper's
dead.
Verdict comes through. Jwei is done and dusted. Chris instantly ults to get out of the permafrost. And Top Esports, they can turn this one if they want to. They're actually forcing FPX to run for the hills. And look what's happening on the other side. 369 is able to split while his team is winning out on the other side of the map.
There we go. They have 3 grubs. It'll be another turret. They're gaining gold across the map. TES are not worried about the game state right now. That shutdown may have gone over to the Gwen, but if you are 369 and you are the rest of Top Esports, you're saying, look, we got ourselves second dragon. There's no potential of a soul. We have our Otacon as well. Probably going to be looking at Baron with a Misfortune and this really fed Azir. Yeah. Objectives are paper thin to us here. And FPX, we just haven't seen the team fight really come together. Yes, they are a much slower team, especially. You're talking about double marksman here. They're going to have access to their 3rd items coming soon, but what did you trade in that time? We're going to be getting to 30 minutes here before the next dragon, and if that's how long it takes for you to get 3 items on both your marksmen, I feel like at that point you may have traded too much. You've already lost most of your outer turrets.
Yeah, the fights have been really messy and unorganized for FPX. We talked about dirty fighting from Top Esports. I mean, FPX have been doing a tremendous amount of dirty fighting in this game too. It's been unorganized, to say the least. And I think it's really cost them, because I agree, it feels like they really have given away too much. The only thing TES really can play for at the moment is another dragon in a couple of minutes. Baron is on the map, but you can see a big focus on FPX to try and set up a vision presence there. So I don't think it will be that simple unless FPX leave it big open.
Okay. So we've got some time here, but we're kind of seeing right now that for FPX, they're having a really hard time getting pressure in this top side. I love what Top Esports have been doing, making sure that they can move through mid lane, put pressure on the top side here, trying to make this play into Creme. Really well played.
A Glacial Prison goes wide. You're going to see another Keeper's Verdict. Kanavi just doesn't miss, and Jwei is sent packing. 369 is TP'd in as well. With the space they've gained, there's an opportunity for TES to turn and go for the bear.
No
oh,
way,
wait a
man.
minute. JackeyLove gets caught out, doesn't have the cleanse, is forced to flash. A lot of HP lost. Curtain call is going to be opened up, but I don't think much is really going to come from it. Creme's tanky. 369 is tanky. And you know what? Despite the missteps, Top Esports, they're going to start the Baron.
I love that from Chris, man. He stopped Jwei from getting in. We haven't seen too much of the Rel versus Alistar combo here. 369.
Yeah, he's jumping in. Exploding Cask is going to blow everyone to the side, but not much else. There it is. It's going to be the flash body slam. Now, Big Kanavi's in a little bit of trouble. Needlework is starting to come through. Deadly Flourish. Big knockup from Chris. He finds another one. And Creme with the big shuffle to help secure the kill. Even with Awesome going for the trade, this Azir is too strong. This Misfortune is too strong. And FPX have to run for the hills.
Okay, yeah, at least for FPX, there is no Baron being started. Maybe there still might be, even with this Azir. They're going to take their recalls, they're going to reset and get ready for this next dragon here. But FPX, they have no damage, they have no front line, and now they've lost all of their summoner spells before this next big fight. Imagine they even contest for this dragon. If they lose even one member, that's a Baron, and that potentially is going to be the end of the game with 3 grubs on the side of Top Esports. Take a look back at this replay. Chris has played this Alistar the last 10 minutes. fantastically. Him and 369 doing everything in their power to stop FPX from getting anywhere near the pit. And it's a flash engage from the Gragas. And it is so tough for FunPlus Phoenix to ever get into these fights. I mean, Crisp is able to find Sheer, set up for Creme, and they just make this team fight. They made this game look very easy.
Yeah, this is the top esports that we're familiar with. All of Split 2, Dimitri. This is the top esports that we expected to just run right through FunPlus Phoenix. And well, game 1 didn't quite go as planned, but now top are here to play. As you said it really feels like FPX are playing on this razor-thin edge. Their margin for error is so small now. All it takes is one more bad fight. Top can take the Baron. Top can end the game.
Okay. So for right now, what we'll see from Top Esports is how much can they actually get done. They're actually just going to have, I think if you were smart right here, you're just letting this Azir solo this objective, even if it is on Vision. Pings coming out from FPX. They're too late to this already. I mean, Top Esports can very easily move back over to this side of the map. They have 3 members. Azir's going to finish this now. Soul point here for Top Esports. And can FPX finish this Baron in time?
Maybe they're doing it really quickly. This is a very fed Tristana, but there it is. Keeper's Verdict. Shadow is out. There is no smite. This is the easiest steal you've ever seen at Top Esports. They're going to get away with everything, and that's not enough for them, Dimitri. They want more, and they're going to force FPX back.
All right, they've got another minion wave in mid. They'll be able to take the inhibitor at the very least here. FPX are putting themselves, or they're just corralling themselves in the top side. Why are we not recalling? Guys, they have 5 Grubs, or 3 Grubs, plus Baron. We are going to lose our base just to defend a single top lane tier 1. Or top tier 2. What?
I don't really know what I'm looking at here. Jwei in a little bit of trouble. Isn't going to get the wall bang, but the exploding cask is going to come through. That is it for the Rel. On the other side, Crisp is low. Care is going to get a reset, but JackeyLove, he's the one who's auto-attacking. FPX are the ones who have to run away. That's another kill coming through here. Inhibitor, not long for this world. And I think that is it. Awesome and Care are here, but is it enough?
Can the carries actually get enough done? Care gets found. That's it.
Yeah, big shuffle coming through. Creme is going to flash because they want to close this one out. And Top Esports, they get the ace, they get the win, and they get themselves up to match point in this series.
Look, it looked a little bit wary. Maybe they were a little sleepy still from the ride over to Beijing. Yeah. But Top Esports have come to play. They have been looking so good after that first game. It feels like they're really starting to play with a little bit of vengeance in their hearts. And at least we're seeing a Top Esports that is, you know, being competent. Still more of the same of what we got from them in the regular season.
Yeah, and I will say, I think on the other side of it, more signs of life from FPX compared to Game 2, I'd say. But are you really thinking that, you know, this is more of what we want to see from FunPlus Phoenix? Or you think there's a chance they can actually take us to the Silver Scrapes? Or is it Top Esports are woken up, it's GG?
I just don't know, like, what is the plan here? Because we've consistently now tried to give Care, like, these massive carry champions. Yeah. It's not working. I feel like you are as reliant as you were to really make sure that Sheer can be in a good spot. That never really panned out. And then Awesome and Jwei, it was just a bad matchup for the bottom lane. Like, Jwei versus having to play the Rel into the Alistar is pretty miserable. So I don't know what else I really can hope for from FPX, because aside from the Pantheon, we've now had a game where you had Xin Zhao, we didn't do anything. We had a Sejuani, we weren't able to really do much from our early lanes. I feel like from the side of FPX, we had such a good and creative game strategy for game number 1. You're gonna have blue side now. Maybe you decide like, hey, let's first pick Nefiri because we have access to this side. I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, there are still some draft options available to them, but it is tough. We're really starting to feel that Fearless coming through here as we are approaching Game 4. 30 champs are going to be unavailable, and of course, it's going to be the 10 that also get banned away. So it is tough. Yeah, a lot of pretty premier champions, I think, are out of the picture as well, and it's tough for FPX because they're getting a lot of things that should be working for them, but they weren't actually able to turn those into wins.
I'm not surprised, though. I gotta say, I'm not surprised that this is the FunPlus that we're getting. The only way that I'm surprised is it feels like they're kind of like laying down and dying a lot. They're just like, oh,
Yeah.
It's happening to me. But when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking to myself, okay, we are in a situation where we don't do much early. Top Esports have better laners, right? Like, that was something we talked about coming into the series. So our way to win is we have to make game states that are unstable, that are not playable for our team.
Yeah, and is there something in particular you think FPX can do in that fourth game? Something they can draft to kind of make that one happen? Is there anything really, like any specialties? Don't say Care Cassidon, please.
Care Cassidon would go kind of hard here.
I gotta go, guys. I'm super busy right now, actually.
I know. But I just maybe there's like so I don't think it's going to be a champion kind of specific issue. I just don't know what happened to the FPX that was doing stuff in the early game. Like, Top Esports have shown that while Kanavi is playing very aggressively, that, our bottom lane isn't getting pushed as often. Some of the strengths for us is that Care is better at being able to set up our team. And Creme is very focused on making sure that he's getting gold, but he's just getting free games here against this team to be able to farm up and do whatever he wants. Now, 2 games in a row. The Rise, not much threat versus the Akali. The Azir versus Tristana, there was a little bit more fight, but not much that I would say is much different.
Yeah, I think part of it is that, again, it is how Top Esports play around him. It isn't just how well Creme is laning, it's how well the team is setting him up. I mean, Crisp, we saw a lot of, I remember you saying more than once, wait, why is he mid lane? Just the fact that they were putting a lot of care in the mid lane to be able to get this Azir ahead or make pressure for him when he's playing on the Rise. And it's really just Top Esports recognizing where the carries are and how they should be playing around these drafts they make.
We'll see what happens here for game number 4. Thinking about MVPs, I feel like this is a game where you could definitely give it to Creme. I feel like Creme was kind of spectacular on this Azir. Yeah. I don't think it's going to happen, but I feel like either Kanavi or Chris earned themselves some gold here.
Yeah, I think Kanavi is a great shout, especially just because I'm pretty sure every keeper's verdict hit like a key target. Like, the dude actually super smurfed on the Poppy. But Creme also had a great game. He's playing the Azir, really flashy champion, so I'm kind of expecting it to go that way too.
Yeah, I mean, good job for Top Esports. Coming into the day, a lot of people obviously were thinking this was going to be a 3-1 for Top Esports. It's looking more and more likely that that is going to be the case. It doesn't matter that FPX get access to Blue Side. They are just looking like a worse team than their opponents right now, which is not unlikely from what we saw. Remember, this is the 8th seed versus the 1st seed. Yeah. This is expected results for Top Esports. But I think in general, I think fans most likely would have preferred if this was a much closer series. And will mean that FPX, if they do end up losing this next game, will have to play against the loser of BLG versus Invictus Gaming, which is the next series after this.
Yeah, so it's really, even if FPX lose here, the nightmare is not really over for them in terms of difficult opponents. It is nice. We've seen some signs of life here from FPX. Could bode well for them if they do end up going down to that lower bracket, but they have a chance to take us to those silver scrapes. But before we see Game 4 come through, we are going to throw it to
Pog.
Pog of the game?
Let's get our Pog. Give me my Pog, man.
Yeah, we need to see who the Pog is. Oh, nope. Okay, there we go. Oh, it's Kanavi.
There we
love
go.
To see it.
17. That's why this guy got regular season MVP. Great job from him. And again, Top Esports looking very dominant here and throughout the rest of the series.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great look. Again, he had so much impact on this Poppy. I think that the difference maker for him was the ultimates. Always 1 key target, sometimes 2 key targets, and he was able to have a lot of impact there. Good stuff. I think now that we have Pog, now that we have our answer, we are going to throw it to a short break as we get set up for Game 4. We're going to see if Top Esports can close